Google Pay is rolling out on the web for faster checkouts on desktop and iOS. Following its launch on Android back in February, Google Pay is now rolling out on the web to let you complete shopping transactions quicker on desktop and iOS. The cross-platform service lets users check out on shopping sites, as well as send and receive money using a credit or debit card or PayPal account. With that, Google Pay is poised to attract a wider user base in the 20 countries that it presently operates in and give it a chance to compete with Apple Pay, which already works on desktop and mobile and other mobile payment services. Xiaomi officially files for Hong Kong IPO to raise a reported $10 billion. Xiaomi's much-speculated IPO process has kicked off officially after the Chinese smartphone giant filed to go public on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. The first draft of its filing does not include proposed financial details of its listing, but the South China Morning Post reports that the 8-year-old company is shooting to raise $10 billion at a valuation of $100 billion. That strategy, which CEO Lei Jun calls a triathlon, is focused on services for growth since Xiaomi has capped its maximum net profit for hardware at 5%. French illusionist and director Georges Méliès honored in first VR Google Doodle. Google is unveiling its first VR and 360-degree interactive doodle to commemorate French illusionist and film director Georges Méliès on the anniversary of his celebrated silent film La Conquête du Pli, which was released on this day in 1912. The video celebrates magic and cinema and explores Méliès' work in illusions like duplication tricks and double exposures, a replacement trick, and a cache illusion, where elements look like they're disappearing. In a tribute to Méliès' sometimes diabolical worlds filled with skeletons and ghosts, the doodle also features an evil green man who attempts to kidnap our hero's beloved queen. Tesla will regularly release data about the safety of autopilot, Elon Musk says. Tesla will publish quarterly reports about the safety of its autopilot driver assistance feature, CEO Elon Musk announced on a call with analysts Wednesday. But the move could represent a major change in how the company treats data related to autopilot, which is typically closely guarded. The statistics are unequivocal that autopilot improves safety, he said. How freaked out should we be by a floating nuclear power plant? Critics are calling a floating nuclear power plant bound for a Russian town in the Arctic Circle Chernobyl on ice. While there isn't really enough information to make a specific risk assessment, a floating nuclear reactor in and of itself isn't necessarily a cause for alarm. Nuclear reactors have been powering submarines for over 60 years. So if you have a massive pipe break, all that material would be contained within that vessel, within that containment building, he says. Elon Musk offers more detail about Tesla's ride-sharing network. On Tesla's Q1 2018 earnings call today, Tesla CEO Elon Musk shed some light on the company's ambitions to launch an autonomous vehicle ride-sharing network. The short answer is that, from a technical standpoint, Tesla will be ready by the end of next year, Musk said. The longer answer involves discussion about regulation and the need to have full autonomy in place. I spent a day with the refugee caravan and didn't spot any bad hombres. As the US editor of a major tech publication, I wake up each morning and go to bed each evening knowing the words I've written reach an audience in the tens of millions. For that, I'm asked to inform and entertain, to explore topics of interest to our readers, and deliver a finished product worthy of being shared with their friends. It's the sort of chilly weather that requires a light jacket before heading out on an autumn morning for a cup of coffee. Elon Musk says Tesla Model Y will be a manufacturing revolution. Elon Musk said that Tesla's forthcoming electric crossover vehicle, the Model Y, will be a manufacturing revolution, even though the automaker is still struggling to get its mass-market Model 3 out of the door and into customers' driveways. But the vehicle's real impact will be in the manufacturing process, where Musk says he wants to avoid the pain he's currently experiencing with Model 3 production. Less wiring means more automation in the production process, and Musk has said he plans to introduce more robots into Tesla's production line. Columbus Collaboratory's Jeff Schmidt talks about the future of security. In this episode of Technotopia, I talked to Jeff Schmidt of the Columbus Collaboratory. He is well versed in the future of security, and our conversation ranged from the rise of the Midwest to the future of cyberattacks. It's a sort of delta force for major corporations headquartered in Columbus, and Schmidt has a lot to say about the value of a good security plan. DigitalOcean is getting into container hosting. DigitalOcean is one of the most popular VPS services around. For as little as $5 per month, you can provision your own Linux virtual machine, which it calls Droplets, in a matter of seconds, allowing you to host your own website or server application. When you host a container on a cloud platform, like Platform9 or Google Kubernetes Engine, you spend less time building, provisioning, and securing your hosting environment. Facebook tool warns developers of phishing attacks dangling lookalike domains. Phishing seems like a problem that will be here for the long haul, So I welcome any tools to combat it with open arms. Today Facebook announced One, a service for domain owners or concerned users that watches for sketchy versions of web addresses that might indicate a phishing attempt in the offing. The tool looks for all these variations in domains it encounters by watching the stream of certificates being issued to new domains. Fitbit beats revenue expectations slightly, but tracker sales are still down. The company pulled in $247.9 million, up over Wall Street's expected $247.3 million. Fitbit has adjusted its second quarter revenue expectation accordingly. We expect results to be impacted by the reduced demand by the channel for trackers, partially offset by an increase in smartwatch revenue, driven primarily by Versus sales, the company wrote in a release announcing earnings. There's a logical explanation for continuist parallel universes, was Stephen Hawking's final theory about Kanye West's recent Twitter resurgence. And, as someone who's followed his career for decades, I'm perfectly aware that he's always been a bit of an eccentric. It almost feels like the arrival of Donald Trump's political star has given him reason to reimagine himself in an image that's a complete 180 from the person he once was. China could beat America in Arkansas VR long-term. Tim Merrill contributor Tim Merrill is managing director of DD Capital. More posts by this contributor. Ubiquitous Arkansas to dominate focused VR by 2022. The new reality of Mobile, Arkansas and computer vision venture capital America delivered more Arkansas VR revenue than China last year, but Chinese growth in the next 5 years could see it dominate Arkansas VR long-term, and not by a small margin. Arkansas could approach $3.5 billion installed base and $85 billion to $90 billion revenue by 2022. Will VRMit deliver $50 to $60 million installed base and $10 billion to $15 billion revenue in the same time frame? Nintendo's new president aims to build $1 billion mobile gaming business. It's a time of optimism and transition at Nintendo, where brisk sales of the Switch have bolstered its bottom line and new leadership signals a fresh approach to the market. Shuntaro Furukawa, the new president, told the Nikkei that one of his plans is to pursue mobile gaming with more vigor, aiming to build it into $1 billion business. The idea that something will emerge that transforms into something big, in the same manner as game consoles, is the defining motive of the Nintendo business, he told the Nikkei. DC Comics' new streaming service now has a name and a landing page. And DC Entertainment announced they were launching a new digital streaming platform that would include both animated and live-action series. Now, that service has a name, DC Universe, and an official landing page on the DC Comics website. Today it was also announced that a live-action Swamp Thing series would be coming to the service. Have we hit peak ransomware? Maybe, according to F-Secure. Ransomware is really nasty. Although ransomware attacks grew 400% in 2017, this is attributed to one specific incident, WannaCry. Its big debut happened around this time last year. Tesla beats expectations. Tesla reported its Q1 2018 earnings today, posting adjusted losses of $3.35 per share with revenues on $3.4 billion. This is technically a beat, as analysts expected Tesla to report a loss of $3.48 a share with revenues of $3.22 billion, up from $2.7 billion a year ago. In its letter to investors, Tesla provided some updates to its Model 3 production, noting it hit 2,270 cars produced per week for 3 straight weeks in April. Dogged by scandal, Cambridge Analytica closes its doors. After becoming the center of a scandal that led to a federal inquiry, Cambridge Analytica and its UK counterpart SCL Elections are closing and filing for bankruptcy. Employees received word today the company was closing, effective immediately. Cambridge Analytica and its UK counterpart called employees and released a statement today confirming the company was immediately ceasing all operations after having been the subject of numerous unfounded accusations. It wasn't a crisis of conscience that brought about the company closure, though. Spotify misses on revenue in first earnings report with 170 million users. In Spotify's first-ever earnings report details 2018 Spotify Technology SA announces financial results for first. The streaming music came up a little short, pulling in $1.36 billion revenue in Q1 2018. Spotify hit 170 million monthly active users, up 6.9% from 159 million in Q4 2017 and 99 million ad-supported users. Spotify shares promptly fell over 8% in after-hours trading to around $156, beneath its IPO pop a month ago, but still above its $149 day one closing price and $132 IPO pricing.